Hey, welcome back. This is EC's EDC, and today we have the Brown Buffalo ConcealPack 21-liter bag. This one happens to be the UltraGrid variant, and we're going to take a look, dive in some of the new features. There's been some changes at the Brown Buffalo, and some of those changes directly impact the bag. So let's dive in. Now, for forever, the Brown Buffalo has been hand-making bags in Costa Mesa, California, but recently there was some internal updates, probably due to manufacturing costs and everything tied into running a business. But when this new bag showed up, maybe you can see here, it is no longer made in Costa Mesa, California. It's made in Cambodia, and that's not a bad thing at all. But it is worth mentioning because forever, this brand has been made in the USA. So for folks who have that as sort of a stop-all, you know, maybe you head to a different bag. But if that doesn't bother you, I think you should stay tuned because some of these updates are amazing and they make the bag more comfortable to wear. But we'll get into that. Let's dive right in. So starting with the exterior, you're going to see challenge sailcloths, UltraGrid fabric throughout the exterior of this bag. This bag has an interior of EPX 400, and for dimensions we've got 19.5 inches by 12 inches by 6 inches. Comes in at 2.9 pounds in this specific variant. And you're gonna find YKK zips throughout. The main clamshell zipper is a number 10 Reckitt coil zipper with AquaGuard covers, excuse me, and then you'll find number 5s throughout the rest of the bag. So here we are, we're taking a look, and as we go through the front of this bag, you're gonna see no visible changes besides fabric. And even that's not like a new change, you know, fabrics are always going to be switched up from time to time. But this UltraGrid is really nice. It's supple, it's soft, you can feel the grid with your hands, and I really like the look. I think it's very subtle, but still gives you something a little bit different than just a consistent color of whatever your fabric of choice might be. On the front of the bag, we do have one large zipper pocket, no changes here. Key leash on the inside. This might have been updated a little bit. Feels a little shorter than the previous Brown Buffalo ConcealPacks, but you do get Duraflex hardware throughout, and that one is a nice little spring-loaded clasp. Now, the inside of this front pocket is all a loop field, so I've gone ahead and stuck on a little mesh organizer from North Street bags, and just use that to make this a little bit more functional for me, but it is looped, so you can set that up however you want. On the side of the bag, you'll find 2 Hypalon little pieces of fabric that you can use to attach things to the side of the bag. This did come with this little key leash. I haven't taken it off. It's just been living there. And so that is identical to this side. Now for the bottom of the bag, you will find there is a nice bit of padding there. This is a very rigid bag overall. The structure of the bag helps it maintain its shape, and you can see, you know, it stands on its own upside down even pretty well. But that's all we've got here going on the bottom. Just a little bit of padding. And then at the top, we've got the handle, which is nice and raised. 2 pieces of webbing sewn onto each other, and then it's very securely box stitched down at the sides. Outside of that, you know, that is your exterior, and we're gonna dive into the changes that you might find on the outside of the bag. So looking at the harness system, we'll start with the back panel, I suppose. We have no major changes here. You got that very soft cushioned plush foam that's going to be great to carry luggage pass through in the vertical orientation. This is stitched nice and tightly meaning it's not going to feel loose against your back. We do have the laptop access right here. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. But the major change that you're going to find on the harness system is with the straps. So these are now very plush, super soft, very, very comfortable to wear. They've also widened the space here at the top ever so slightly. And for me, the big change here is I don't feel the straps rubbing on the back of my neck. That's huge. That used to irritate me. And additionally, these straps are almost seamless. Almost. But compared to the previous strap, there used to be this sort of rigid exterior bit that ran along each side, and the strap could be seen as hard to get on and off your body. It was very structured, and sometimes it would kind of like irritate either your arm or the side of your torso when the bag was on your body. So these changes are awesome. I think they did a great job. Comfort's super important. So I'm a big fan of how these new updated straps are in practical use. Duraflex hardware throughout. So D loops at the top. You have a removable, slidable, adjustable sternum strap. And then down here at the bottom, you have buckles. Instead of tri-glides, you're gonna find buckles so that this is removable. And again, more D loops down at the bottom. And the straps are partnered with elastic strap keepers. So before we do open the bag, we will quickly look at the laptop compartment. And one thing I really do love about this choice here is there are 2 zippers, meaning the laptop's going to be accessible pretty much no matter how you set this up. And I'm a fan. I just like the extra zipper. It makes life easy and they don't cost much, so I appreciate the extra zipper on the bag. This is a 13-inch opening. So I have a 13-inch MacBook Pro here, and this does fit in there no problem. The 16-inch also fits in no problem. The only thing to consider is if you have a wider, thicker, PC, you're not gonna get it in here, I don't think. It's gonna be tough, and if you do, you'll probably feel it against your back and it may not be comfortable. But with that said, there are options for how you can use this bag that might help support machines that aren't the Mac, right? The Apple products. But let's go ahead and just open this up and we'll take a look at the inside of the bag. Hopefully things have not moved around too much. All right, so here we go. This is the inside of the ConcealPack. No major changes happening on the inside. We're only seeing changes with the straps and the harness system for the most part. So headphones, tech pouch, snack pouch, notebook, and that's gonna let us see into the main cavity here. Now, the Brown Buffalo, if you haven't seen these bags before, provides you a base loop field, and the back of the bag is a loop field. So this is going to allow you to customize, put modular pieces into the bag, and sort of build it to the way you want it. That said, you do need to have the extra things to be able to do that. So there's additional costs going into that as well. I have in here a tablet sleeve from North Street Bags, and that just allows me some quick access to this without having to jam it in the same place the laptop's living. So that is your internal bucket. Nothing else to say. You can still see that EPX 400 material right here. And it is a nice, wide, and deep bag. It holds a lot. I would say it feels bigger than 21 liters, probably closer to 24-ish. So let's flip the bag around and look at the inside of the front panel. This is going to give you 2 sort of bucket style pockets that are great for dropping in larger, rounder, cylindrical items. I've got a water bottle and an Evergoods half cap in there, and these do lay flat. So if you don't want to use these, if you're packing out the main compartment with other things, no need to worry, but it is nice to have. And then up top you have a mesh pocket, and this, this is kind of like, it's kind of like that drawer in the kitchen sink, or it's kind of like that drawer in the kitchen where you just throw all the stuff in here. There's no real organization, but you know where everything lives anyways. So this is nice, see-through, makes it much easier to navigate, and it's quite sizable. So I do appreciate that there, though there is no quick access on this bag. You got a front pocket with a key leash that I had to slap in a loop organizer, but there's no little zipper on the side for your AirPods or your badge or your keys, nothing on the top of the bag for a top quick access pocket. So I do find that to be a limitation of this bag. It would elevate it, I think, if they had spent a little bit of time, a little bit of money to find a way to add in that feature, especially here on the side. I really think having a little zip down on the side would be a great way to improve this without doing too much to impact your capacity inside here. Now, before we close this up and move on to some final thoughts, we have two Peak Design packing cubes. This is the medium and this is the small, and they're both probably somewhere around 75% full. They can put a little bit more clothes in each of them, but I wanted to show you this bag is built for both everyday use and travel, and it easily swallows these two packing cubes. Now, the bag is nice and deep, so you could zip it up and be on your way, but you could probably also stuff in here, a small DOP kit. I'm just putting this here. You could probably still bring, a set of over-the-ear headphones, and then when all is said and done, you just, these YKK zips will just help you out, and now you're ready to rock and roll. No external water bottle pockets. That does also limit you to a degree, but it does look super clean. It's got a great aesthetic. I really do like the way these bags look. So, all in, great bag for EDC. It is a little big. It's a little tall in my opinion, a little long, but I don't have a problem with it too much. Sometimes maybe I'll think about the length on my back, but for the most part, I think it's fine. Does this bag need the AquaGuard zippers? I don't know. The UltraGrid's not waterproof, it's water resistant, so I guess it helps. They do deteriorate after time, but it does look nice when you first get the bag. And these are actually super smooth, so I appreciate that as well. New straps. This is definitely a big selling point for me. The Brown Buffalo bags never ended up sticking around in my household because comfort just being outmatched by other bags, but these are super comfortable. I really enjoy wearing the bag, and now that they're a little wider, these are super plush, feel broken in from the moment you take it out of the box. This is now something that probably will stick around in my house. I do really like the UltraGrid. It's nice seeing some new fabric options from the Brown Buffalo, and I do appreciate a sleek looking bag. Vertical luggage pass-through, also big fan. I love being able to throw this on top of some rolling luggage and have it just look nice. Nothing wrong with the horizontal orientation, but that vertical orientation does look pretty sleek. So all in all, this bag being made in Cambodia is fantastic. Build-wise, there's not a single thing to critique. There's no loose stitching. There's no strings that I found. Everything is impeccable. Brown Buffalo probably made a good choice moving to Cambodia. It's too bad the price is still, $325 for this specific one. It would be cool to see this priced a little bit lower. But there are bags under $300. You can get the 1000D black or Ranger green versions, also made in Cambodia at a slightly lower price point. So those are also available. But all in all, the only thing that I would nitpick is I would love a quick access pocket on this. And I think having that would make the bag just a little bit more user-friendly, especially when thinking about being on the go, right? It's made for travel and EDC. If I want to get my headphones or my AirPods or my keys, like, I have to take the bag off to find my keys here in the front, or maybe they're on that interior zip pocket up here, that mesh one. And I think that little addition might go a long way, especially when you think about, you know, how long this bag's been around. Be cool to see some organizational updates be applied. But Cambodia Brown Buffalo ConcealPack, I do like it. It is nice. Straps are awesome. That's a huge win and a massive improvement. So great job to them on figuring out how to do that. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Take care, be good, and I'll see you in the next one.